calf pain. Today we're talking about calf pain and some unusual places that calf pain might be stemming from coming up next. Okay friends, here we are, Kat Matlock here in Asheville, North Carolina at the new FreeBody headquarters. And today we're talking about pain referral patterns. So we're in the pain referral playlist and we're talking about calf pain. Now, yes, calf pain can come from the soleus and the gastrocnemius, which are two major calf muscles. I recommend that you give that a try. Roll out your calves, especially if you've been doing a lot of walking or hiking, especially if you twisted your ankle and you've been kind of limping or doing, walking differently. Yes, roll out your calves. And we'll drop a link in the description for some real specific ways to release the gastrocnemius and the soleus. But at the end of the day, sometimes that may not get rid of that pain in your calf. So it's important to understand that trigger points can refer pain to places where the trigger point's actually kind of far away from the part that's aching. And this can be very true of calf pain. So if you're having some calf pain and it's really frustrating, you can't figure out what it is, I want you to look into two different places and see if this doesn't help you. The number one other weird, strange place that your calf pain or aching may be coming from is actually gluteus minimus. What? Gluteus minimus? That's way up here in the outer hip. What? That's an abductor that lifts the legs out and it stabilizes the pelvis and the hip socket. What? Why is it making my calf ache? That's some of the mystery of pain referral patterns, is that the muscles can be far away from where they are referring pain into. And there are theories about that. And I talked about the expansion of the receptive fields theory of why trigger points refer pain. We'll put a link in the description. That's like the first video in this referral playlist to understand it a little bit. It doesn't always make sense to us, but to know that these trigger points do refer pain, and this one, the gluteus minimus, can refer pain into your calf, is a really important one to understand, because you might suddenly be having this weird calf pain and you're trying to take care of it and nothing is working. And it might be that nothing is working because you're not actually reaching for the actual cause and attending to the actual cause. Gluteus minimus, it will refer to the calf, and it will also refer into the hamstring, deep ache in the buttocks, along the iliotibial band, along the outer shin and the outer calf. It does not typically just refer pain into the calf. It often also includes some aching in the hamstring or some aching in that iliotibial band or in that deep buttocks. However, I will say that I had a client come to me recently, which is partly what prompted this video. And she came in, I have this calf pain, my calf is hurting, I tried everything. And I said, okay, well, let's, I released gastroc and soleus, I released the calf muscles themselves, and nothing, it wasn't really working. And I said, well, do you also have a hip thing? Like, do you have some hamstring stuff, or do you have a deep ache in your butt? And she's like, oh yeah, but I've just had that for years. And I went, oh, this is an important thing to understand, is that sometimes a new pain that you're experiencing in your body might actually be a continuation of a pain referral pattern that you're already having and that you got used to. This is often the case of calf pain that comes up after the glute min has been stuck in a trigger point pattern for a really long time. Of course, we're going to put a link in the description to how to release that glute min, and we'll show you just got to get on a ball on the side of the hip. Of course, no muscle works in a vacuum. Of course, you want to release the inner thighs also, super helpful. But glute min could really be an underlying cause of that calf pain, especially if you also have some hip stuff, a little bit of weakness in that hip, if you also have like a deep ache in your buttocks or any of the other glute min symptoms. So that's number one strange place that calf pain may be coming from. Number two strange place that calf pain may be coming from is actually the hamstrings. The hamstring muscles, semimembranosus and semitendinosus, so those are the more medial heads or more toward the inner thigh or midline of the body heads, two heads of the hamstrings. Both semimembranosus and semitendinosus will often have an aching in the calf as part of their pain referral. Typically, you'll also feel some pain in the hamstring or aching in the hamstring itself, but again, it might be something that you're used to. Oh, my hamstrings are always tight, whatever. But now this calf thing, ooh, that made me nervous. I've never felt that before. Now I've got this calf pain. What's going on? It actually might just be that the hamstring trigger point and its effects are kind of getting more and more far reaching. So, or maybe more trigger points now have developed in the hamstrings because those original ones weren't treated properly. So if you're starting to get a calf ache and you're thinking, uh-oh, what's going on? First question to ask yourself, well, where else do I also already have some tension or pain or discomfort? Does it match the glute min trigger point? Look at the picture here. See how it shows up on the calf? But look at all those other places. Does it match now or the hamstring trigger point pain referral pattern picture? What does that look like? Oh, could it also be that? Do you also have trouble like with tension in your hip flexors, because that can be an effect of tension in the hamstrings? So you want to kind of see if there's other things at play, other symptoms that you've kind of gotten used to, so that you don't skip these other sources that could be causing that calf pain. I really wanted to help you understand calf pain can be coming from multiple sources. Yes, it can come directly from the calf muscles, gastrocnemius and the soleus. However, it can also, and those are the major players, it also can be coming from gluteus minimus in the outer hip, or the inner hamstring semimembranosus and semitendinosus. So if you're releasing just the calves isn't working, then definitely check those other areas. Now I want to speak really quickly to one thing, and that is calf cramping in the middle of the night while you're sleeping. Sure, maybe you need some magnesium. Maybe you actually are hypermobile and your calves just work really hard trying to pump your blood back up and you get really fatigued at the end of the day. You're going to need some electrolytes for that situation, maybe some compression socks. But if you're experiencing calf cramping in the middle of the night, you've already learned, don't stretch it. That makes it so much worse, right? Get up and stand up. As soon as you stand up and put weight on your feet, that cramping will almost always stop. So calf cramping in the middle of the night, the muscles are just like, blah, you get in that Charlie horse, like, oh my goodness, right? And get up, stand up, that cramping immediately goes away. So I trust you found this video to be helpful. Trigger points do weird stuff in our bodies, and trigger points refer to distant lands in the body. So it's really helpful to understand where these other places are that could be causing your pain. That's the whole theory. That's the whole thinking behind this pain referral playlist, to help you understand more and more. Calf pain could be coming from the hip or the hamstrings. It may not be coming from the calf at all. So we'll drop those links in the description. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.